It's okay.
Hey, guys, what are you guys doing?
We're gonna drive home.
Oh, wait, no. Haven't you guys been drinking?
A little bit.
You guys shouldn't drink and drive.
What's
It's dangerous.
We do?
You guys should call Safe Rides.
Oh yeah.
On average each year, 3,360,000 students between the ages of 18 and 24 drive under the influence of alcohol. 599,000 are unintentionally injured under the influence of alcohol. 1,825 die from alcohol-related unintentional injuries, including motor vehicle crashes.
I definitely think drinking and driving is a problem among UMW students. It happens all the time, and I feel people feel like they don't have another way around the situation.
Stop! Don't drink and drive. Stay alive.
Hey Ashley, how was your weekend?
It was great. I went to JMU, and they have this really cool program that offers you a safe ride home at night.
Oh cool, awesome. What's that?
It's a program that was developed by JMU students that offers students a safe ride home. That way no one has to drink and drive, and you don't have to worry about your DD leaving you.
Oh man, I wish we had that here at UMW. We could totally use that. The UMW Bullet reported in their police beat section that from August 2011 to March 2012, there were 17 reports of drunk in public on campus, 6 reports of drunk in public off campus, 9 cases of underage alcohol possession, and 3 cases of drunk driving by students.
Even administrators at UMW address this as a problem.
I think campus safety in general is important to the UMW community. I think students taking responsibility for their own actions when it comes to consumption and looking out for one another is paramount. That's with or without a Safe Rides program.
Student safety is something we always consider as the utmost important. So anytime we can augment that, make it better, I think it's a great thing for the university.
Student's life is priceless, and I wouldn't want to see a student be injured because they were walking home intoxicated and got hit by a car because they stumbled off the street and got hit by a car. So I don't think the cost outweighs the benefit necessarily, but I think it's something that we need to look at a little bit more specifically than just, oh, we have this broad idea, so let's implement it. It needs to be a little bit more specific. So.
Recently, a survey about drinking and driving was conducted among UMW students. Out of 100 students surveyed, 63.6% reported having gotten a ride home with someone who had had 2 or more drinks. 36.4% reported having 2 or more drinks and then driving home. 96% reported that they would use a Safe Rides program at UMW, and 99% believe that a Safe Rides program would be beneficial to UMW.
This is one of those things that students are very interested in. So in my role as Dean of Student Life, it's incumbent upon me to work with them to advance their ideas.
We also directly talk to students on campus about the problem of drinking and driving. These are the responses to the following questions.
Do you know any UMW students who have driven home drunk?
I do. Yeah, that concerns me.
Yes, I know a lot of people who have driven home intoxicated, and it's a huge problem.
Yeah, I know a lot of people.
Yes.
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 Yes, I do think it's a problem.
It definitely concerns me that I have many friends that drive home intoxicated.
Would you and your friends use this program?
I would use it, definitely, and I'm pretty sure my friends would too.
Yes, all of them.
Definitely.
Hopefully.
Yes and yes, I think we would all use it.
Yes, probably.
I would hope they would.
Yes, I think it would be a great idea.
I think my friends and I would definitely use it.
Would you prefer using UMW vans or a taxi service?
I would choose UMW vans because I feel more comfortable tied to the university than a random taxi driver.
Either sounds fine, but UMW vans would kind of be like more official.
UMW vans because it's sponsored by the university, so it's more of a trust issue that you can trust the vans instead of just random taxis.
UMW because the campus is pretty reliable, more so than taxi service.
I think either I'd feel comfortable with.
Both are fine with me. I think it's more of having the service.
Besides the problem of drinking and driving, students generally do not feel safe outside the campus. This map shows student perceptions of campus safety. The red areas demonstrate where students feel the least safe, which is along College Avenue and Sunken Road.
Now that we understand the magnitude of the problem at UMW, let's discuss the solutions other universities in Virginia have implemented.
JMU has a student-run club where student drivers provide a ride home to students on Friday and Saturday nights from 10 p.m. to 3 a.m. They average about 280 rides a weekend. They have an annual budget of $25,000 for renting vans, insurance, and gas. Their mission is to provide a safer community and work to prevent drunk driving. Virginia Tech's program is sponsored by Virginia Tech Police Department, which operates from dusk until dawn. During the 2011 fall semester, the police provided 6,248 safety escorts. UVA provides two different programs, the Yellow Cab program and a late-night bus service. The Yellow Cab program allows UVA students to use a taxi service to provide a safe means of transportation. The fare is later billed to their UVA students' account. The late-night bus service is offered on Friday and Saturday nights from 12:30 to 2:30 along specified routes around the UVA campus. William & Mary has the Steer Clear program. It provides a reliable, secure, and free means of travel to reduce risky behavior, namely driving under the influence. The program is operated by student drivers on Friday and Saturday nights from 9:30 p.m. to 2:30 a.m.
There are many different types of programs across the country, and they're not all the same. So what elements would work for us?
Even though UMW does not have a safe rides program, it has attempted to address the problem.
To address safety concerns, UMW has installed 139 blue lights across 176 acres of campus. Our campus police patrols 24 hours a day. UMW Campus Police also offers a late-night escort service for students to be transported from one point of campus to another. And lastly, there are 24-hour emergency phones to contact the UMW Police Department. The reason our group is proposing a Safe Rides program is to provide a safer community atmosphere for students as well as Fredericksburg residents. The goal of Safe Rides is to provide safe transportation in the Fredericksburg area for intoxicated students who are unable to transport themselves. This will also help to prevent drunk driving by giving students a viable alternative through Safe Rides. We want to show that the safety of everyone in our community is paramount, and Safe Rides will allow us to do this.
The first reason that you have a Safe Rides program is if there's a student who's either in distress or doesn't have the capacity to drive and needs to get back to campus.
The pros and cons of the UMW van service are varied. Some pros are that many people can fit in a van at once. There are set times so people can plan their night in advance. You do not have to call for a ride because you know that the van will be there when you expect it. Students are involved because they are driving the vans, and it can also increase student jobs. Some cons, however, are the insurance costs for the vans, the accessibility due to sports teams occasionally using the vans on a weekend, as well as students getting rowdy and getting sick in the back of the van.
We also have limited institutional resources now, and so we don't have a lot of additional vehicles or vans.
It's very difficult because of how many student organizations, athletes, you name it, are using the vans on a weekend basis. So, and I think funding is a problem. You're looking at around 20 to 30 cents a mile, and if you're doing that for 4 to 5 hours, throughout the night, you could rack up, a good couple, I would say 50 to 60 miles where, yeah, it's only about $30 or $20 that one night, but spread that out through the entire school year. Yeah, it's only, a couple $1,000s, but at the end of the day, with budgets being cut and things like that, that's a lot of money. So reserving a van is there's a form, state vehicle request form. You'd have to be a van certified driver. That process to become van certified, you have to go through a training course. It's on Wednesdays at 4 o'clock. It's a really easy process.
The UMW van service sounds like a great idea, and some students say they would prefer it. What is another option?
Another option is a taxi service.
As Trevor said, another option is the taxi service. Some of the pros for the taxi service are that there are no insurance and you can only call when they're needed, so there's no wasting gas when rides are not available for you. However, there are also some cons. One con is you have to wait for a long period of time because you don't necessarily know when the taxi is going to show up. Also, it is hard to determine the location of the pickup or drop-off spots because you are dealing with a taxi. And finally, if we were to use one company, we would need to know how much business we can guarantee them in order for them to be profitable.
SGA recently made a proposal to create a Safe Rides program, and they recommend using a taxi service.
For the SGA proposal, SGA views the issue as a way to promote safety for all students and improve community relations. There are some legal and technical issues they must deal with. Because they cannot provide state-owned vehicles for use, they are considering partnering with a local taxi service. However, no specific taxi service is in mind currently. Students will call the selected company and be transported back to the place of residence. SGA will cover their travel expenses. There is no operating budget yet, and they are still in their developmental stages of this project.
In the case of a taxi, what students were able to do is they had a number that they could call. A taxi would come pick them up, drop them off, and they would be reimbursed for the cost via SGA, and SGA would have the student reimburse them.
Now that we have thoroughly discussed the possible problems of each program, here are some possible solutions our group suggests. First off, Doug Searcy asked some questions that need to be answered before implementing a Safe Rides program.
Resources, how much does it cost? What are the liabilities? You know, anytime you have a program that you put in place where you're moving people from one location to another, there's an inherent risk or inherent liability. So we have to ask the question of legal counsel, how do we do it? How do we make it the safest that it can be, and what's the benefit of that? Assess it. How do we make sure that it's happening effectively? How many rides are we getting? How many students are benefiting? How many are not using the program, and why?
We would like to answer some of these questions, but first we need more information. One solution to this would be to find out how many people would use the program. If there were significantly more people using Safe Rides, then the UMW vans would be more cost effective. Unfortunately, we cannot offer a cost-benefit analysis until we gather this information. In addition to a cost-benefit analysis, we need to know the extent to which SAE and SGA would provide funding for these options.
Still in the planning phases. I think the liability issue is a big concern. A Safe Ride does not guarantee that someone getting on a van will not be violent or is not in a position to take care of themselves. If you just have a driver, what's going to happen if something happens and you're picking up other people? Is this going to be a service to just get people from the campus and back, or is there expectation that you take me from an event, you know, in this neighborhood to my house over here? I mean, all of those things have to be worked out, and that's why student government is working, just to find out how such a thing would be structured, how it would be paid for, and how it would serve the student community.
Like the administrators addressed, there is the issue of liabilities. Our group offers some solutions to getting around this problem for the UMW van service program. First, every van driver would be van certified and only allowed to drive if they have a clean driving record. Prior to students being able to use the program, every student must sign a form of release that states if a student gets sick, they can be brought immediately to the hospital, even if they want to decline care. If they get into a physical altercation, they will be permanently banned and the UMW police will be involved. Also, if a student is sick and able to clean up the mess, then the student must. And if they are unable to, it is left up to the driver to clean it up, who will have received training on how to safely remove biohazard wastes. Another point on the release form is that even though Safe Rides is providing a safe form of transportation, you still need to remember other safety precautions, such as staying in groups, not being alone, and being aware of your surroundings. Also, our belief is that the program should have well-lit and safe pickup and drop-off areas. And finally, to make sure the program is effective, there needs to be a Facebook page that anyone can comment on at any time. Send out emails to users with anonymous surveys, and have a secret writer to report back to the program facilitators. To address the issue of liabilities with the taxi service, we would provide the same release form addressing possible concerns. One major concern that differs from the van service is with what would happen if the taxi does not show up. However, at this moment, we do not know of a solution addressing this matter. As you can see, there are many positives to a Safe Rides program at UMW. However, it will take a lot more research and investigation until it can be implemented. As Doug Searcy said,
but everything inside me says we can keep going and we keep moving this thing forward. It works at too many institutions, both public and private, to say, oh, we can't do that. No, we need to keep looking close enough to see how we can do it.